Liz Cheney is at it again. This time she calls people out by name. Her minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, as well as Jim Jordan. And justifiably so. It shows she points out their hypocrisy as she speaks about the evil that is going through the Republican Party, one that is causing or effecting the destruction of the institutions of the United States. Let's check this out, then we'll take it on the other side.
Just outside this chamber, over the north door in Statuary Hall, which was the old House chamber, stands a statue of Cleo, the muse of history. She's one of the oldest works of art in our capital. She stands in a winged chariot, the chariot of time, and she takes notes in her book, reminding all of us that our words and our actions will be judged by history. History particularly will judge those of us in positions of public trust for what we are doing today. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, Madam Speaker, we all recognized how profoundly wrong January 6th was. My colleague from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, who just suggested that we were here because we opposed President Trump's policies, seems to have forgotten that actually on January 6th, he himself said, quote, "What happened today is wrong and is not what America is about." The next day, Mr. Jordan said, "What happened Wednesday is a tragedy. Everyone knows it's as wrong can be." And today, Madam Speaker, the former president suggested that the violence was justified. My colleagues in the Republican Party, the Republican members of this body, have to understand, have to recognize that there's a moment when politics must stop if we want to defend and protect our institutions. A violent assault on the Capitol to stop a constitutional process of counting electoral votes is that moment. They all knew that on that day. In fact, the minority leader himself stood in this chamber and said, quote, "The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding." Mr. McCarthy was right then. The president bears responsibility. We need to know what happened. This body must have the ability to understand what caused the attack, to understand who was responsible, and to take legislative action to ensure that it never happens again. Madam Speaker, I urge my colleagues to support this motion for contempt for Mr. Steve Bannon. I urge them to do so because it is right, it is morally right, it is constitutionally right, and it is all of our duty. And with that, I yield back.
Couldn't be any clearer. Couldn't be any clearer. She didn't only call out Jim Jordan and Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, but she also called out all Republicans who are voting against saving the democracy. Good job. Again, Liz Cheney, I don't agree with your ideology at all, but your fight for democracy, we are one. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.